Welcome to the Fantasy NASCAR podcast brought to you by RaceForThePrize.com. Trucks, Kansas, picks, post-qualifying, post-practice. If you want to get your hands on the practice lap by lap data at RaceForThePrize.com, go there. Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, $30. Give you all the sheets for the month, all the data that you need this month. Love for you to join us. Makes it easy, makes it fun, gives you a little bit of an edge. Join us, one of us. So Chase Purdy wins the pole. Fast truck from Spire. Spire has won with Kyle Busch. Spire has won with Rajah Caruth. I don't think Spire is going to win with Chase Purdy. Congratulations. Just don't think we can go there in DFS. Ty Majeski. Thor was excited coming into this race, and then coming into practice, they looked really good. Brand new truck for Ty Majeski. Very fast. I don't know if he has the fastest truck. Fastest probably fire-off wise. Long run, I think you give the edge clearly to Heim, maybe also a little bit of an edge to Zane Smith, but Majeski's right there, and clearly Majeski has the advantage starting towards the front and should probably lead laps early. He is cheaper than Zane Smith. He is cheaper than Heim, so if you're narrowing in on your one hog, which I think you're only going to need one, and I think you can only have one because you're going to have to play Nick Sanchez in the back. And we have seen in previous trends, if you watch my other videos, we get multiple hogs, we get multiple dominators, quote unquote, or drivers that lead laps, but typically only one really slides into the optimal lineup. So Majeski is one of those few. He does definitely have the benefit here, but if we are looking at fastest truck, probably leaning Heim, and he also gets that boosted place differential. But don't sleep on Zane Smith, who also gets boosted place differential, has a truck that's competitive, said that his truck feels a lot like his 2022 truck that he won with at Front Row. His teammate is not as excited, Christian Eckes. But then again, Christian Eckes is kind of a guy that's very hard on the equipment, very tough, always expects a lot more. I think Zane Smith, a little bit more happy-go-lucky, happy to be with Bill McAnally, getting these rides, more optimistic. But maybe Eckes is being more realistic and not so optimistic and doesn't like his chances against Heim, Smith, Purdy. Eckes definitely is going to be there at the end, but if I'm looking at the trucks that I'm really excited about, Heim clearly, I am more bullish on Zane Smith than Eckes, and clearly Majeski with the new truck, qualifying close to the front. We can only get one. And for me, I was thinking Heim, the spreadsheet optimizer, is saying go Smith. And one of the benefits of Smith being a part-time driver is he can probably play games. If there's an opportunity to play strategy and not chase stage points, Zane Smith can do that, which could lead to more opportunities to lead laps. In the end, we expect all of them to finish in the top five. Smith, Eckes, Heim, barring a wreck on a restart, which absolutely could happen. So you might need to diversify your lineups. But you do get Smith a little bit cheaper. Again, those are the guys that were tackling. Ty Dillon, not on the board for me. Wipe him off. Rajah, top 10 truck, but I don't expect a Las Vegas type performance. Good run here by Connor Mosack. This is technically the Kyle Busch truck with Brian Patty as the crew chief. Qualifies well. Practice laps are fine. Looks good in the ARCA race today, but he's not going to be in play. Daniel Dye, again, another solid effort. We like Daniel Dye. We like the Bill McAnally trucks, but we can't play him starting sixth. Sorry, can't chase that one. Jake Garcia, good, great, awesome. Really starting to make those gains from moving from McAnally over to Thor. Thor has good trucks. They were excited. His practice speeds, probably not the greatest, but then qualified pretty well. But again, not going to be on the board. Stuart Friesen's interesting. He could possibly get there. He has the speed to be in the top five-ish, but does he really? Can he compete with Smith, Eckes? We have seen him run well at this track in the past. He is significantly cheaper. I don't think you can simply cross him off. Running up front, you've got the restarts. I don't know if he leads a significant amount, but could he be there fighting at the end? Yes. And if he can move this top five finish up to a top 5, 4, or 3, then he is on the board, scraping off some fast laps. He could slide into your lineups. But right now, you're probably in that tier, in that range of top pack, 7 to 8K, chasing more place differential. And so Friesen is alive, but he's not someone we're necessarily going to because there's other better plays. We've talked about Zane. We've talked about Eckes. Good step forward with Ben Rhodes. Looked really fast in practice. He is affordable. He's going to get you a little bit of place differential. but still at the end of the day, he doesn't have the Heim speed. Again, he could be right there battling at the end while we have one of these restarts. So you can't cross him off, just like we can't cross off Friesen. But there's some better plays that are in fast trucks that should have the same opportunities, that simply have just more access to place differential points. But again, good step forward for Ben Rhodes and Thor altogether. So I just think there's better plays, but I can't completely wipe them off. I think you say same for Tyler Ankrum, but I don't want to spend more. Again, he's been a top 5 truck all season long. If you've been watching the videos, very bullish on Tyler Ankrum. Obviously, he burned a lot of people at Texas. No fault there. Nothing you can do. He's been top 5 all season, but I don't know if he has a top 5 truck compared to some of these other guys. He could be there, but I don't see the reason in paying a little bit more. I mean, I'd rather go Rhodes, but again, we're going to come to some better plays coming up. Crafton, as mentioned, was the only guy that got through qualifying and a little bit of the through tech inspection. Now, everyone expected to fail tech inspection because they enforced new rules this week. It wasn't necessarily that everybody was cheating, but there might be something to that. And the fact that Crafton was the only driver that went through tech, that maybe they didn't push it enough and we didn't see a lot of speed in practice. Probably my least favorite Thor truck, not on Crafton, although he has been good at Kansas. He's been in every single Kansas race ever. But again, you just look at the practice times, you look at what they've done this season, and just other trucks look a little bit better. Matt Mills, nice qualifying effort, and these trucks look good. Always has some sort of issue. How much further can he go? And there's trucks starting behind him that should leapfrog above him, going to knock him out as a play. Enfinger didn't exhibit a lot of speed. These are top 10 CR7 trucks. Cody Robaugh, Bill McAnally slightly aligned. Probably just not going to be his day. Taylor Gray, now we've got some place differential opportunity here at 9,200. And he has been a top 5 driver. As I've said before, he's my dark horse candidate for the championship, but just doesn't seem like he has as much as the other drivers. Tricon looks really good. And I know they didn't show up in qualifying that well, but their practice times were good. Moffitt did everything you wanted him to see. Tanner Gray has done everything you wanted to see and looks amazing in this ARCA race. Now, again, the ARCA field, not the strongest, but Tanner Gray looks really comfortable. He looked comfortable in ARCA. He looked comfortable in these trucks. I would much rather take Tanner, which usually we go after Taylor, but Tanner at almost $2,000 cheaper, starting 18th. He's the one that I want to go to. I think he is where the field's going to go to. The optimizer goes to him. So again, we talked about Rhodes being a decent play. We talked about Friesen being a decent play, but I would much rather chase the place differential with Tanner and how fast these Tricon trucks look. I mean, Heim, Gray, they didn't have the qualifying efforts. Not really too much of a surprise this season, but in race trim, they're looking good. I don't feel comfortable going to Cameron Waters, Cam, the supercars guy. Thor does have good trucks, but in his first Truck Series Kansas race, I can't go. It was fine at Martinsville, but I don't think you need to go there. Bailey Curry can move forward several spots. He can maybe benefit at the end. He is in play, but maybe not the best value play. I like much more going to, I can't believe we're doing this, but Dean Thompson, again, Tricon, 5 trucks, all very fast in practice, all very fast in race trim, not in qualifying trim. Dean should be able to drive forward. Dean looks good in the ARCA race. He's been at Kansas plenty of times before. This is a place where he could excel, probably his best opportunity yet. This isn't a niche truck. This is a Tricon truck. He has shown in the past that he can perform. Obviously, he's shown that he can fail as well, but he's also failed in bad equipment. He's failed in good equipment. But Dean is kind of where I am going at the moment. I would rather chase, and I know Bailey's probably a better race car driver, but Dean's got better equipment. And when we spread out and fan out and start churning and burning laps at Kansas, ultimately, I think the Tricon truck is going to overpower whatever Bailey Curry has. Again, another good effort from Caden Honeycutt, and he's another guy that I would go to. A little bit more savings, a little bit more place differential. I would argue a better driver. Curry's got more experience in this series, but Caden is kind of your next big dude. And I was talking about it the other day about all these late model guys getting opportunities, all these junior handpicked drivers. It was the Dirt Series promoting people to the next big thing. Now it's the late model guys. So you got to look at that late model data. And then sure as I record that video, hours later, Junior Motorsports announces that Caden Honeycutt's going to be in an Xfinity car. The 88, excited to see that. Brett Holmes. So when we look in the Le Mans class, the backpack, the C class, who can earn the best finish? And that's where we're going here. Brett Holmes appears to have the best speed among that class. And him and Mike Shiplett have, well, not him and Shiplett have raced well here before, but he's raced well here before. Shiplett obviously has as well. Tons of success as that 42 Superstar car, and then with Cole Custer and their 7-win season. So far, it looks like in the backpack, it's not even close. It's Brett Holmes. Now, how far can he go forward? I don't know. But when we're looking under 6K, he's starting a position where he can move forward through attrition, hang on to the lead lap. Even if he isn't on the lead lap, we look at the drivers one lap down. He should be there right there, dicing it up, having an opportunity at the end to maximize finishing position. I like that as a value play. Lane Riggs did not really show us much. He could move forward. It is a front row truck, but all the drivers that we've mentioned ahead of him are probably going to finish ahead of him. Maybe, Di Garcia, these guys slide down and maybe he slides up. I don't know. I think that is a bit of a push and a reach. I like Riggs. I think he's going to develop. This truck has been fast at this track. I mean, 2022 front row won with Zane Smith, but this isn't Zane Smith yet. This is still a young Lane Riggs battling it out. He can move forward. If we get him to 15th, which I think is a bit of a stretch, that is an aggressive projection for Lane Riggs. But even if he gets to 15th, that's just a 4.9 FPPK at 7,700 in that 7 to 8 range. I'm on Tanner Gray. I'm trying to find a way to get maybe to Ben Rhodes. I don't think he's off the board. He's definitely in play, but I'd like to have seen more. Thad Moffat's probably going nowhere. Going backwards, 5,200, that's not going to work. Spencer Boyd, just out there turning laps, just out there, didn't really worry about qualifying. Qualifies 27th because it's a small field and because of the issues in the back. I mean, Joe Cobb wasn't even trying. Sanchez didn't get to qualify. Timmy Hill ran into some debris, so he didn't even get to practice. They've got to change a radiator. Mason Massey's car died on the track. So right there, he just basically defaults. Even though Boyd wasn't even trying in qualifying, he now has to start 27th rather than his typical 36th or 33rd. So he's not going to get any attrition points starting 27th. He's dead. Same thing for Thad Moffitt, who typically starting further back. But because of way of qualifying, and we talked about this previously, it's smaller field that really hurts the deep value, the punt the guy in the very back. And then when you have these automatic guys starting in the back, that really just pretty much says no Moffitt, says no Boyd. It also hurts Lawless Allen to a degree, who really didn't practice that much. And although Lawless Allen's probably going to finish ahead of these guys on any given day, on every given day, and maybe move past Boyd. He'll move past Boyd and Moffitt, but then he hits a ceiling. And then, yeah, he is battling with the drivers that are 2 laps back. But again, when we're looking in that back pap, who can maximize finishing position and maybe possibly finish on the lead lap, Holmes is really the only guy I think I can consider. Allen should be able to win this class. And if you have to go there, then maybe it's worth consideration. But I think I would rather take my risks on Timmy Hill getting the radiator fixed. He's going to he should beat Massey. He should beat Cobb, Maggio as well. Maybe Maggio has something. I don't think I would. I would much rather take the more experience and lean on hoping Hill gets this thing fixed. You want to follow him on Twitter, chasing a little bit of that place differential if you have to go there. But the optimizer is not building around those guys at the moment. The optimizer is finding enough value in the 6 to 7K range that you really don't have to take your risks on this backpack. But if I did go to the backpack, I was trying to see who's going to finish the best amongst this class, maximize points, and allow me to squeeze people in. Hill's going to be a play. Holmes is a play, is probably where I would go to. I would rather take Holmes, and then I won't completely scratch off Lawless Allen. Again, those are probably your 3 winning this Le Mans, LM, Lemons class, C class drivers to target. Hopefully that helps you out. Like the video, subscribe, share, recruit more people to us. We got some shorts coming your way. Colin's working on those. It's awesome. It's exciting. A lot of cool things happening. You guys are coming in. They may package at racefortheprize.com, $30, or maybe just leave a tip. Venmo, PayPal, Cash App. It's all in the description below. Hopefully this was helpful for you. And it's not too late. It's actually the beginning of the month. Get your hands on some of this data. Hey, really blessed to have you guys here. And I love you guys. Love your support. Trip to Light, fantastic.